Good afternoon, Vallejo. You are watching VCAT, your hometown television station. This is Community Forum, and I'm your host, Maria Bitagon. You can see our show on Channel 27 at Comcast or Channel 99 at AT&T Uverse. We are actually recorded on Thursdays and Sundays at 6:30. I am very happy to welcome today my guest, and kindly welcome with me my guest today. He is a candidate for the Vallejo City Council, and I have watched him in all of the forums, and so I figure I should really get him one-on-one.
Okay.
And so why don't you actually do a self-introduction so that the people will know where you're coming from, and also your educational attainment and what you are doing today.
Okay, so just to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm from Vallejo. I grew up here. I went to school here. I went to Pennycook, Federal Terrace. I was in the GATE program, Vallejo Middle, and Hogan High, Springstown and Hogan High. I care about this community, and that's why I'm running. I want to see this community move forward and really make a difference here in the city of Vallejo, whether it's for our youth, our seniors, working class families. I think that the city of Vallejo, it's time for us to move forward, and that's why I'm running. It matters to make a difference.
Well, we're very proud of people who wants to serve us. So normally in your life you have priorities. What are your top 3 priorities that you are interested in accomplishing? And also, why are you running for the city council in tandem with those 3 priorities of yours?
Okay, so I would say the 3 priorities, number 1, it would have to be economic development. There's a bunch of other things I would like to work on, but we can't do it without the sustainable revenue. Secondly would be public safety, reducing gun violence and crime, as well as reducing 9/11 response times. And lastly, it's a hard one because there's a lot of issues we need to focus on, but I think housing, I can't forget about housing, especially senior housing, making sure that we have the housing that Vallejo families need so that they can stay here and hopefully live and work here. Why I'm running? I'm running, what inspired me to run was I would say just volunteering at Vallejo Public Schools. I do that regularly, and just seeing some of the needs, talking to those kids about, don't feel that they have hope for jobs, have problems getting to school, being harassed at school. It really made me think about, what could I do more for my community, because I think those needs aren't being addressed in City Hall. But I do think it started before then, just whether it was a community cleanup that I started 10 years ago because I was tired of all of the blight on our streets, to continue to provide scholarships to students and things like that, volunteer at different programs, and just wanting to give back to my community. So I think that this is just an evolution of how can I give back, how can I make a difference here in the city that I'm from.
Okay, I'm so glad to hear that. How would you address the problem of homelessness? And, because I'm so worried about that, because I'm a senior. I just turned 80, and I'm living from payday to payday.
Okay.
If I do not pay my rent for 3 months, I'm out, and therefore I will be homeless. Could you please tell me how you relate to the problem of homelessness?
Okay. Homelessness, one of the things you brought up is something that I'm always concerned about, is seniors and homelessness. I'm always concerned about my mom and, making sure she has housing. So for me, I think when it comes to the homeless problem, first thing we have to do is approach it realistically and realize we have a problem. It is a growing problem. What we're doing, the solutions we have aren't working. And I think that is number 1. Secondly, it is reaching the people where they're at, whether someone has a drug problem or mental health issues. We still need to address those issues. We have got to make sure that we are addressing them where they're at. We can't reject someone because they may have an alcohol problem. That person needs housing too. They need help, but they need housing. So I think that we need to make sure that we're bringing those services to the community. And lastly, it would have to be creating more housing. We need more housing. I was volunteering at Vallejo Together's Day Center, and one of the things that I was surprised and shocked at was, when you think of people who are homeless, you often think of mental health issues or drug issues or things like that, but there were people there who had full-time jobs, were clean and sober, worked 40-hour work week at what I would consider a pretty good job, and still couldn't find housing, still couldn't afford housing. So I think that we're going to have to dedicate ourselves to building more affordable housing in this community.
Thank you so much. Because you are number one advocate of economic development, do you think that what kind of role should the Chambers of Commerce have in, because they always talk about business retention and business attraction, so that that it contributes to economic development. How do you feel about that, and how do you feel about the City of Vallejo partnering with the Chambers of Commerce?
Okay, so I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm also on the board of the African American Chamber of Commerce for Solano County. So I do see the need. I think having a diverse set of chambers is very important, because you never know what communities have different needs. And I think that is very important, whether it is the Filipino community, the Hispanic community, the African American community. But we need to also be able to work together and realize that business owners oftentimes have the same issues, and how can we figure out what those issues are and what are the common issues, whether it's the planning department, whether it is permitting, things like that. I think that I would like to see continued cooperation amongst the different chambers, looking at these kinds of issues, looking at what are issues for their members. I also think that, so I'm also part of, we have a monthly economic meeting through the chamber, which is an excellent meeting. I think it is very forward thinking as far as bringing all the different members of this community, whether it is the health industry, whether it is entertainment, hotels, things like that. So I think it's all about understanding what are the business needs, addressing them, and working with the city, because what the city needs to do is really understand we can't assume that we're doing a good job. We have to reach out to business and find out where can we improve, and I think the chamber is a good place to start.
Thank you so much. You have told me a lot of sources of your inspiration as to why you're running, but I would like you to be, direct with me as to who or what inspired you to run for the city council.
Okay. Who? Well, I'll tell you. Number one, I would say my mom.
Yes.
I can't, she has been someone who has always been involved, always volunteering her time, always have been involved in the political process. So that's something that, I've had as part of my culture, and something she, helped instill in me is the passion for giving back, as well as the need for political discourse and getting involved. I remember being a young man and a child, and remembering her volunteering for Jesse Jackson, volunteering for different campaigns, campaign walking, phone banking, and now here I am involved. So I think it would be my mom would be my biggest inspiration.
That is so great. On a bigger level, on a higher level, do you feel the national political climate is affecting Vallejo?
Well, I think that the national political climate is indicative of the local political climate. I think that I would like to see, whether it is the United States of America or the city of Vallejo, let's get away from divisive politics. Let's get away from pointing the fingers at each other and figure out how can we work together, whether you're Democrat or Republican, liberal or conservative, it doesn't matter. We all live in this country. We all live in this city. We need to figure out a way to work together. And I haven't seen enough of that. I think that people are too comfortable fanning the flames instead of holding themselves accountable about how can we put the fires out and figure out a way to work together.
Okay. Do you feel that about community? How do you feel about community service work, and what community service work are you most proud of?
Okay.
Yeah, I know because you have told us in most of the forums that
Right.
you are into the community and you volunteer a lot.
Right. So, I would say I volunteered even growing up. My mom would bring me to things, but when you're a kid, you're like, I'll come, but okay, I have to be here.
Yeah.
I think what sparked an interest for me was about 10 years ago, there was a lot of blight in my neighborhood around Benicia Road.
Okay.
And we decided, a few of us said, we're going to get up on a Saturday and pick up the trash. And it turned out to be very fulfilling. I liked it. I mean, I think every week it grew 5, 10, 15. We're pretty much 20 people. We expanded to fixing roofs and mowing seniors' lawns and things like that. And it was very gratifying in ways that, I had never experienced, and I really liked it. And I think it's been addictive. And it's also, we have a huge culture here in Vallejo of giving back. What I'm most proud of, I would have to say, is Neighborhood Rising, which is a nonprofit focused on bringing resources to impoverished areas of Vallejo, things like jobs, internships, apprenticeship programs for our youth, as well as free books, which I like. I'm a big advocate of reading, kids having a love of reading and how that relates to long-term success. We also have free groceries and things like that that we give out to our seniors and families in need. We do legal services, so if you want to work, but let's say you do not have your license, we attempt to help get that back. So that has been very fulfilling, and it's something that I am extremely proud of.
So I have been to most of the political forums, and I have observed people, some very positive things about you being said by the people.
Thank you.
And so I have to say that to you because I'm sitting there, and when they clap their hands for the opening and closing statements, and how you actually put your feeling in there, so it must be something that you actually feel within yourself. Yeah. So
yes, it is.
Why should voters vote for you?
Well, I think that they should do it because I care about this community. In my heart, I'm not a politician. I just want to make a difference, And I think that is very important, that we have people in there who care about the community, understand the needs of the community, are willing to do the work, and also willing to hold themselves accountable. We have to get away from pointing fingers. I will not be up there blaming the boogeyman or saying it's someone else's fault. No, this is our problem. We were elected to solve it, and we have to do it together. I think that we need leadership with some backbone. I am not going to tap dance. I am not going to be beholden to any one group or another. I'm going to put the people of Vallejo first, whether it is working class families, our children, our seniors. I care about this community, and that's why I hope that people support me.
So I would like to be one of the person who asked you the question at this community forum. I have been dying to do this. Okay. And I says, could you please give us a great opening statement, and then I'll ask you another question, and I will ask you for a great closing statement. Okay. Because I want that kind of performance, as I have seen. Here's the public.
Right.
They are looking forward to hearing from you.
Right.
They have told me, some of the people whom I have sat down with, it has a tremendous admiration for what you're saying, because you're not scared of pleasing anybody.
Right.
You just want people to come together
Right.
and get along. And I want you to make them feel exactly why you're running.
Okay.
And also, I want you to make them feel that you're not for yourself,
Right.
that you are actually interested in the people getting united for the city of Vallejo and improving the life in the city of Vallejo.
Okay. So I will start by saying, hello, Vallejo. Change is coming, and it is going to be much needed change. It is not just in leadership, but in how we do business and what our focus is. We no longer can focus on some parts of the city and not others. Everyone has to rise. We have to rise together, and we have to learn to work together, whether it is dealing with housing and making sure that we have the housing that families need, that our veterans need, that our seniors need. Well, if it comes to school and education, after school programs, safe passage to school programs, we have to invest in our kids. We have to. And along with that, livable wage jobs. These kids need more jobs, not just Panera Bread, not just In and Out, but jobs that they can take care of their families, that they can have hope, that they can raise their families and put their kids through school. That's why I'm running. I want to make a difference in this community. I care about this community. I'm a native son of this community, and I'm ready and willing to roll up my sleeves and give back. How was that?
How about that for an opening statement? I love it.
Thank you.
So finally, as the election approaches, I want you to get in there and do a great closing statement, but emphasize the message.
Okay.
What's your one message that's very important to you that you want to get out there to the voters? So now you are having the closing statement, and I want you to, with all the force in yourself and with all the sincerity and the feeling that you have for the city of Vallejo, could you please address our people?
Okay. So, for 20 years, we've watched this city move at a very slow crawl. We have watched our homeless problems increase. We have watched our kids suffer. It is time. We're at a crossroads, and it's going to require bold leadership. We no longer can afford to have people playing the blame game, playing the slander, vilify, repeat game. It has to be bold leadership, and it has to be coalition building. We have a very serious decision to make, Vallejo. Are we satisfied with the status quo or not? Are we satisfied with the amount of homeless people on the streets, or is it time to do something about it? Are we satisfied with lack of economic development, or is it time to do something about it? Are we satisfied with our seniors not having the housing they need, or is it time to do something about it? I want to be part of the solution. I care about this community. I'm ready to fight for this community. I'm ready to do the work. I think that, if we're going to choose leaders, we need leaders who are going to represent the entire community. We need leaders who are going to give back and work with our kids. We need leaders who are going to help out our seniors and do what they can do to help out our seniors. And we need leaders who will be ready and willing to go wherever they need to go, all parts of Vallejo. And that's what I've been doing. This isn't talk for me. This is what I've been doing for a very long time, because I'm very passionate about the city of Vallejo. I'm not going to rest until this city gets back on the footing that it needs to be on, until this city is moving forward, until this city is the jewel of the Bay Area. We no longer can be the butt of jokes. We no longer can be the laughing stock. It is time for us to move this city forward. It is time for us to develop this city, and it is time for us to make Vallejo the city that it deserves to be. My name's Hakeem Brown.
So, is there anything, you kindly tell the people how to get, because I know that even if you are perceived as one who is doing very well, could you please tell them how they can contact you if they want to help you?
Okay.
And if they want to go to your events, are there any events that are being planned for you as, before election time? Would you like to say to them and see how you can be contacted and your organization so that the people can give their help?
Okay, so you can always email me at votehakeembrown at gmail.com, HakeemBrown at gmail.com. You can also go to my website, HakeemBrown.com, and you can send me a letter, send me a note. I will get back to you. We have really the last event coming up is election night. We are going to be having a very nice party November 6th at the yacht club. The entire city of Vallejo is invited. It is about celebrating Vallejo, celebrating, our city, so I hope that everyone can come out. And I also would like to thank you as well, Mrs. Bitagon, for putting this on and allowing me to be on your show. I really appreciate it. You are a very well-respected leader in this community, and having your support and just being able to sit here with you is a huge honor for me. Thank you.
Would you like to share with the people about your birthday thing on October 13th and at USA at the Backcamp Housing's place?
Yes. So
and also on October 14th.
Yes. So we are having this show might not air until after.
Yes.
But still, we're having something on. We're having a birthday 3-day extravaganza Friday night. We're having something at the H Lounge celebrating Vallejo music. So we're going to be playing a lot of Vallejo artists and hip hop and things like that. Saturday we're going to have a live band, a little bit of jazz, a little bit of R&B, something to dance to. At the
California Maritime Academy?
No, that's at the Car Museum.
Okay, Car Museum.
And then on Sunday we're having a gospel explosion. We're going to have Ricky Dillard there, who's an up-and-coming artist, and that will be at Cal Maritime. And I hope to see people come out. It should be, our events have been pretty fun. You can let your hair down, relax. It is probably the most diverse crowd you will see at any campaign event ever in the city of Vallejo, and that's something I'm very proud of.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Because, do you know, I said, I don't know. I said, I'm looking for some guest on my show. And my boyfriend, Tom Brinston says, get Hakeem Brown. I says, oh, okay. Yeah. And who else? And he says, well, publicize the other things. I says, yeah, but get Hakeem Brown. He said he's going to vote for you.
Well,
okay?
Yes. Well, please tell your boyfriend I said thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yes.
And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.